Hi everybody, it's July 15, 2017. I just ran across this PDF and I want to share it with you, all of you, but especially for those who are doing research on the technology that is being used, applied every single day to control the masses, whether they're in the United States or the UK, anywhere in the European Union, other countries as well, but Western nations, particularly. Crowd control technologies. An assessment of crowd control technology options for the European Union. The European Union commissioned a very long time ago experts to assess these crowd control technologies, their use, and to report back on their safety particularly. Now, when people think about crowd control technologies, those who have done some research, they might think about all the different kinds of lasers, the chemical irritants, the pepper spray, and if they've done enough research, they might even think about the active denial system. This system or this technology that military and police can use to shoot a laser into a crowd, and it induces a heat that is so extreme that the crowd disperses. But look at this active denial system. What kind of frequency do they use? Millimeter waves. Think 5G rollout. The 5th generation frequency is millimeter waves. These are the frequencies that the military uses. Now, I am not going to go into all of the different types of technologies that are available, but I do want people to expand their mind and realize that these crowd control technologies are not just used to disperse crowds that are rioting. They are also used against mass populations for mind control and appraisal of technologies of political control. Assessing technologies of political control. And you can read the abstract here. You can't get to it unless you're a member, log in, or pay for this document. But here is the abstract. I will link below to everything. What I do really want to point out, in reading this, I came across just a couple of paragraphs that highlight how the United States is absolutely the evil empire. I went to it wasn't necessarily a July 4th party. They have these barn fire AA meetings once a month at somebody's home that has a lot of land. And it just so happened to fall on July 4th weekend. And at that party, I did try to have some conversation about what is taking place in our country. Got nowhere because everybody just wants to be happy. Okay. I was standing with 3 other people, and one person who I really like, this guy who, we have this, I don't know, kind of a Mutt and Jeff connection. He's really short, I'm really tall, and I just like him. But we're standing there and somebody said something, I can't remember, but it was about July 4th and the United States, and I said, well, we are the evil empire. And, well, Mutt then looked at me with a big smile on his face and said, no. And I put a big smile on my face and I said, yes. And then that went back and forth about 2 more times. And then he gave me this little butt kick, the physical, just aside little no. And then I gave that little butt kick back to him and said yes, and everybody's laughing, and that is the best I could do. Something has happened to the American people, the majority of whom are really now exhibiting behaviors that we have never seen before. Relationships are breaking up. I'm hearing it from so many of you, where you can't talk to your friends, you can't talk to your family. God forbid you should have a different opinion. That in itself could elicit from whomever you're talking to, you're crazy, you're a nutcase, you should be in some mental institution. And I'm hearing from more and more that they literally have to stay away from particular topics with their family because they are afraid that they will be ostracized, abandoned. We haven't seen this before. This technology is being used to control not only the American people, but peoples around the world, especially in Western nations. Now, I have posted videos on the various types of technologies that are being used, but I do want to read these two paragraphs down here. Second generation crowd control weapons. Second generation, 2G. Fifth generation, 5G. Remember, this was published in 2000. We're now living 2017, and they are rolling out the fifth generation. But what do these experts have to say to the European Union about 2G frequencies? The status quo option can be maintained, which will enable the policing assumption of the United States to organize, militarize, and market public order options for the European Union without public debate or accountability. Questions over the reliability and safety of certain U.S. crowd policing weapons and practices should urge caution. Alternatively, technical data in regard to the second generation of crowd control weapons from the United States discussed in this report should not be taken at face value. All such weapons should be subject to independent testing and licensing control, and until and unless such a checking regime is in place, a moratorium should be considered on accepting any of this technology into European military and police crowd control arsenals. This would mean that no U.S.-made or licensed second-generation chemical, irritant, kinetic, acoustic, laser, electromagnetic frequency, capture, entanglement, injector, or electrical disabling and paralyzing weapons should be deployed within Europe unless legally binding guarantees are forthcoming both from the manufacturers and the government agencies deploying these weapons about their alleged safety in assessing the effects of such second-generation weapons. Note should be taken of the ICRC, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and Cirrus Project, which suggests that because of their technical characteristics and human targeting mechanisms, certain weapons should be banned because they are intrinsically inhumane and capable of causing unnecessary suffering. Since much of this work is shrouded in secrecy, the European Parliament may wish to request the Commission to report on the existing liaison arrangements for the second generation of non-lethal weapons to enter European Union from the USA and call for an independent report on their alleged safety as well as their intended and unforeseen social and political effects, the mind control capabilities of these frequencies. This was second generation. This was back in 2000. We're now living 2017, and they are rolling out the 5G, the fifth generation, the military millimeter wave. And I'm just going to end it with this, just a few minutes of our FCC, the former FCC chairman Tom Wheeler, at a press conference, he expressing his abject delight, his excitement about rolling out this 5th generation of frequencies. They're just different. The millimeter wave that the military uses, that the active denial system uses. We are talking about bringing crowd control, political control, mind control to a whole new level. So let's listen. And as you listen, if you don't see this man as some evil, psychopathic nutcase, when you're listening to what this man is saying, then I think you need to do some research on psychopathy and understand that psychopaths have their own agenda. They don't care about you. They don't care about the safety of products or frequencies that they will be putting on the market that affect us. They don't care about the health effects. They have an agenda. And I want to also say that after listening to this several times, I thought to myself, my God, what this man is saying, that the American people are listening to this and they're not thinking something is wrong when he is talking about unleashing the 5th generation of frequencies upon us without any testing, without any safety testing. I absolutely do believe that these people who hold these press conferences now can say anything and it will not affect, even for a second, most of our population, because they cannot critically think anymore, and because there is such a profound apathy. And if you do the research, you will find that these electromagnetic microwave frequencies coming from cell phone towers and cell phones and smart meters and Gwen towers, they can induce apathy in an entire population. All over the country, they can use these frequencies to induce an apathy. This guy may as well have just interjected in his press conference that he was devil incarnate. And I think most Americans would just be staring and listening and who cares? Here we go.
The big game changer is that 5G will use much higher frequency bands than previously thought viable for mobile broadband and other applications. Such millimeter wave signals have physical properties that are both a limitation and a strength. They tend to travel best in narrow and straight lines, and they do not go through physical objects as well. But brilliant engineers have developed new antennas that can aim and amplify signals. Now, to make this work, the 5G build-out is going to be very infrastructure intensive, requiring massive deployment of small cells. I'm confident that the actions will lead to a cornucopia of unanticipated, innovative uses and will generate tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important.
Money is number one. It is the value of the United States, of the American people. Money first. And that pisses me off. Okay.
Because it means that U.S. companies will be the first out of the gate. And that is why 5G is a national priority. And stay out of the way of technological development.
Stay out of the way.
Unlike some countries, We do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate.
Oh, yeah. That should really concern Americans. How many Americans listen to this and just, well, okay, why should we have to do any testing? Oh, those other countries, they don't know what they're doing. They're stupid. We are the exceptional American people. Exceptional. We're going to roll out a technology that already experts have said is incredibly dangerous. But who cares? Companies are going to rake in billions of dollars. Do you think the ordinary American people are going to benefit from this? Absolutely not.
The future has a way of inventing itself. Turning innovators loose is far preferable to expecting committees and regulators.
No, it is not far better. We are turning psychopaths loose. We are turning these engineers and these scientists and these techno-crazies loose onto the American people. And our health is being destroyed because of it.
To define the future. We won't wait for the standards.
That's right. We won't even wait for the standards. We won't even wait for the standards. No, we're just going to roll it out. No standards, no regulatory bodies, nothing at all of what this report suggests that we need boards to assess this technology and boards to make sure that we have adequate safety standards. All right, I know that all of you get this, but it is really, we are living such an unprecedented time when these people can come out and tell the American people, we're not going to do any testing, we're not going to do any standards, we are just rolling it out because companies will make billions of dollars when they hear a massive deployment, which is a military term, massive deployment of towers. And we already have massive deployment of these cell phone towers that are destroying our immune system, that is inducing anxiety and depression and anger in a whole lot of people, causing an awful lot of not just physical stress on the body, but mental and spiritual and psychic stress. I'll link below to it all.